in this fourth session, I want to lay out the basics of the red key route, which is going to be up here. Funny thing happened last time that I talked about the idea I had for this route, and then I completely forgot to put it in because I was so distracted with this dock kind of area. So we're going to use it up here instead. But let's start by putting an entrance to some tunnels down here. We're going to have the player go through a dark kind of area that's like the start of the crusher, with all the pillars and hiding places and so on. Once they get out of there, we'll put them into the arena fight that I had intended for the last route. That's going to happen around here. And then once they get out of that, they'll be able to go down into some tunnels again here, maybe, in which I will stash the red key. I'll make this visible through a grate earlier in the level. And then eventually they'll come out somewhere down here and rejoin the main village square again. I do also want to make this bigger. Despite what I said earlier, I have made this too cramped yet again. So at some point, I'll go over trying to expand the center of the map. Not an easy thing to do, but we'll live through it. Okay, let's keep on sectoring through here. Maybe if we make this a narrow point. And a bit more here. Let's not go for boring squares. What I'm trying to do here is just go as fast as possible with getting the impression of spaces out so that I can then work out what will be enjoyable for an encounter there. Let's just see. If I move this down. Actually, maybe if I keep this up just on this threshold and then move the whole thing down. There we go. Okay. Doesn't need to be. What's the word? Too big a drop. Just enough so that the player is committed here and they can't come back. All right, and eventually they're going to get out of this area and they're going to come up a set of stairs and emerge here. Let's see. Do you know what? One of the first things I noticed Penny saying when she was a baby was "Let's see," and that was how I realised how much I said it. All right, I was just hastily putting together walls here, but I kind of like the hexagonal result that I got. I don't want to make this too small, as is my habit, because I want there to be some space for monster closets around here as well. All right. Let's put square in the center ish. Let's draw a circle. How many sides have I got? 32, that'll do. Whoa, okay, I forgot I put that on. That's great. I wanted that start from the center all the time, so you didn't have to work it out and drag this all over. Okay, there we go. 128, maybe. Might be a bit small, but we'll see. Let's have that pillar like that. Yeah, that is too small. Let's make it 192. I'll do what I'm aiming for is some kind of statue-ish thing in the center here, and that's going to have a switch on it. And what's going to happen when the player enters here, if they can, there we go, is it's going to immediately just drop away down there, and we're going to reveal some monsters. Oh, apparently we're not, because Ultimate Doom Builder didn't like that sector. Draw it again. It's not my morning, is it? There we go. And we're going to have some monsters that are already around. And we'll stick a couple of more powerful ones in here. I do want to be conscious still that the player's only going to have the shotgun and the minigun in this map. Have them hiding behind here. How effective is that? Yeah, that's pretty good, actually. You'd never know they were there. Okay, and the player... I don't want the player to have too straight a run at this. I want them to be able to turn in and then sort of, before they know what's happening, the floor drops away from them. Can cacodemons fit in there? Yeah, the height is... what's the height of a cacodemon? 62 or 56? Yeah, 56 is the height. Let's make a closet that looks like a that looks like a different kind of closet. Because when the floor is here, it'll just look like decoration. You can see that there's no floor. We'll work it out as we go. That's going to be full of demons. If I can click the right buttons. And they'll be bothering the player while they have to deal with some other enemies as well. Okay. I could even make this smaller and give a little ledge up here. There's some monsters to attack from a distance. It's hard making original Doom levels where you can't just spam revenants everywhere. What did I just do? Oh yeah, I pressed that. Those notifications are very useful. That's good. And then this will also be a monster closet, but it's also going to provide the way out. we're going to grab some... Oh, I was going to say grab some because I was thinking of just going over to the other side of the map and stealing the bars that I'd done earlier. It's not really worth it. Maybe that's not... Maybe that's a bit too tall, actually. I don't know. Oh well, okay. I need to think about how this machine is going to operate. Let's use some stone textures. Some feedback just came in new this morning. Is steady on with the Tudor textures. So I'm going to try to make some of these look a bit different. Is there a weird, hellish texture that I can use here? Let's see if I can make this look at all good. Yeah, that's okay. It doesn't quite fit together at the corners, but might not be important enough to notice. Actually, let's take that wooden texture, put it there. What switches can we have? Well, maybe that one, actually. So I'm thinking is this switch will move this down, and there'll be a switch here to move it up. Yeah, maybe that's better if I make this shorter, and if I make this one of the up state ones. Okay, yeah, that'll be good. Okay. Let me think about where I should put my up state, actually. That could be here. So the player has to fight across to get there first time. It's not quite centered. But I shouldn't obsess about this, because not quite centered is better than centered, but I'm going to do it anyway, because I'm weak. Let's see. Oh, B. That one. And I'll make this a flash switch as well. This should be just tall enough so that the player can't... I'd like that to be joined. Oh, I'm not using my keyboard on screen. I'll just say them out loud. Shift and J to join a texture. Join a sector together. Maybe I shouldn't. Now I'm thinking about... now I'm thinking about how I can make this a different ceiling, but keep the floor going up and down. I'll have to think about this. That has to be about there. Nothing like a bit of precision. And what this is going to do is let me. Oh, I want to use my proper step texture now. I've lost it. There it is. OBKMTD50. Okay. And I like the iron textures as well. That'd be quite good for some underground stuff. Let's see. Say that again. All right, so the idea is, if I use more of this, I want to make sure that the player can get out of these wells that I'm making with all these moving floors. Okay, yeah, here we go. You are Sector 13. When you cross here, Sector 13 is going to floor SW, what's it going to do? It's going to walk repeated floor lower to the lowest floor. And that's going to happen in Sector 13. Okay. Now, when the player switches this, repeatedly, floor, raise, you can do 512, but you can't do just 64, which would be handy. To the next higher floor fast. And then maybe if I just took a chunk out of here and made the player then raise it manually like this. I don't know. Anyway, that line faces that way, faces that way, faces that way. And all of you, shall I do these ones as well, maybe? These ones will make Sector 13 behave like a lift, where it will lower and then raise. Yes, so switch repeated, lift, lower weight, raise fast. So what does it look like when we come into here? I lost the door. There we go. Then down. Monsters, monsters, monsters. And then eventually the player switches that, make it go back up again, and switches that, which will drop these bars. What was it? Switch once, floor, lower to lowest floor, that'll do. Okay, then they can go down, then grab the red key, something else will happen over here. And then they will rejoin the town square. Okay, before we move on to the last phase of this route, let's just do some tidying up here. This should be a bit more irony and a bit less woody. Let's see that. We might have some grimy sort of stuff covering the floor here. Let's see, what should this be? I would like some kind of stony texture. Not totally sure if that's it, but we'll see. And this area, this whole area, should be a bit more castly than it currently is. These are the kind of descriptions you have to use. I do like this black metal border a lot, but I'm sticking with it. There we go. That should do it. What do we have in stone? Maybe brick. Yeah, possibly. Is it a bit too brown? It might be a bit too brown. What's less brown? Oh yes, maybe these windows. I love that. Okay, I am definitely doing this. Let's use that. And we're going to make this brighter. And we're going to install some windows in here. If I've left any room for them. Let's see. 128, 192. Need this to be a bit more over that way. In fact, I may not have had to split that wall at all in retrospect. Perfect, okay. That's great. That isn't. We're going to make these the sky. That's Control and Shift and click to select everything adjacent. Yep, that's good. And these should be, well, at least one of them should be down there so that I can actually get up. Split these into stairs. All right. Actually, I'll move these stairs along a bit because I don't like that corner. Nothing personal. Let's put some borders on here so I can make this the interior of some wooden kind of thing. Actually. No, that's fine. Here we go. Oh, woe again. That's pretty good. Very nice. Okay, so this is the indoors of some kind of wooden structure around the edge. We don't quite know what. All right, it also occurred to me that we don't want the switch here because the switch is there to raise the next higher floor and then they can go straight over there. So we're going to move it around by selecting it, hitting E to edit the sector, and then right-clicking to rotate it. There we go. So it looks like a nice pressable switch, and then we fall down here. And let's change some texturing here. You and you. The wooden textures can stay there. That needs to be rocked, that's good. And just to make this look right, I'm going to put a little other texture as a border there, because I need to be stone on this side and wood on the other. There, I think that's not bad. All right. There is a further problem that I noticed here. which is, if we play through this, Control and F9 to drop myself here, we're going to go down here. That's fine. Needs to be a bit faster, doesn't matter. We can use our lines there to make it go up, but it's got nowhere to go up. Yeah, but these should be bordered as well, because they don't look good abutting with the stone. And now if we press this, we get our next higher floor, and we can make this behave as a platform. Perfect. And then we go round to our other side, we hit the switch, and that opens our path forward. However, we can also hit the switch from here, and it'll go up further to the next lowest floor. Now that's not a massive problem actually, because we could put a secret up here. That'd be great. We do need to texture the inside so that we know what we're doing here. And I can't hit the switch anymore from here. So if there were maybe a switch there to lower it to lowest, and just pressing on the inside of here lowered it to lowest, then I think that oversight could be made into something that's actually quite good. So we'll do that. Let's imagine that this can go now up here. We want to do the same kind of border that I did down there. Actually, you know what? I want to use this and not the wooden texture. We're going to use that. And we're going to say for any of these, not you, not you, not you, not you, we're going to flip them. And then we're going to do the same action as we did for the outside. We're going to say switch repeatedly, floor lower to lowest floor. And can we do that as fast? Or raise the next higher floor fast? Oh, we can use a generalized action. Just when I'd got out the habit. Floor, switch repeatable, fast, trigger, down. Lowest adjacent floor? Yes, I think so. No change, no crusher. And for this one, we want to do the same thing. I would just want to make that faster. It's going to be a floor. It's going to be walk repeatedly. Let's make it turbo, actually. Trigger, down, lowest adjacent floor, and no changes. Now this is lower weight raised. Do I want to do that? Maybe I do. We'll see. Okay, point is we want this to count as a secret. This is actually our first secret on this map, so we're going to give it special 9. And then we'll do whatever we want to it once we come to that. I'd also like this to be lower down. I want the player to be able to reach over to that switch when it's here, but no further. And you need to do it twice because that's in the way as well. I wonder if I should just start it off like that. No, I can't because no, I can't. Let's make that part of it. Let's make it. You have to realize that you can hit that switch twice to get it even further up, and we'll see how that works. Having second thoughts. Having second thoughts already. Would that make no? That wouldn't make it. Okay. Let's do that and leave everything alone. Okay. This could be a different shade. Can I just make this bordered as well? Pretty good. And over here, that's okay. We can add some windows as well. It's nice that the seams aren't very visible on this. You don't have to be too perfect with your alignment. Yeah, that's good. No one will notice. So that actually looks like a pretty decent city scenario. All right. So what does the player want up here, I wonder? We'll come back to it. Could even be an alternative route down to here. But we'll move on for now. I'd like maybe some. What's the height difference just now? Yeah, maybe let the player make some progress upwards. And I'd like them basically to be in a corridor here, and then it's going to drop away. The red key needs some light on it to just pinpoint that it is there. It's not going to be visible to the player for a long time, like many of the other focal points of the rooms are where I put keys. There we go. Can I have that drain that I was using, please? Thank you. Perfect. Wonderful. I'll just put some grimy little supports on there. Oh, I'm interfering with the spectre. Not sup. What was it? BK. There we go. Yep, so what I want to do here is raise the ceiling up to here. And we'll 1, 2. And as the player's making their way along there, we'll suddenly just drop them down. I've used the wrong sector, but you get the idea. More BK. Gonna have to watch out for overusing those. I wonder if there's a better texture to use for borders. Oh, but I'll see. Now, what would help the illusion here is if there's a lot of different corridors. It'll give you some chance to explore rather than just being one very obvious corridor that I'm corralling you into. See how well we can pull that off. Yeah, I like the idea that there's a set of stairs down here. Going to have to put some more bars in, but it's not going to be a problem. Didn't need very many, did it? Let's raise that up a bit. Yeah, that'll do. And we're going to have a set of bars across here as well. Nope, it's not quite the same width. Good with making that not as wide. Oops. That's going to mess things up. That will do. Slight inaccuracies, they come back to bite you. Sometimes in places like this, I like to put little decorations into corners. Oh, did you see that? Ultimate Doom Builder was being a bit over-enthusiastic. You've got to watch out for it doing that, or you'll be rebuilding your maps forever. Oh, that's a bit tall, actually. Maybe I'll raise the roof a bit. Maybe I won't. We'll come back to it. Now, you and you and you. This is a nice little feature that I really love about Doom Builder, where you can use... And let's see, can I? Yes, I can. You can use the ++ to change the values. So that means make it 64 more than it already was, and make it the floor make it 64 than it already was as well. So that's rather good. It means that I didn't have to enter the precise values just to move them up a bit. Oops, no. I shouldn't get too into detailing just now. But it's addictive once you get started. It's just the wrong texture. It is, but the player's never going to notice this. But just in case they do, we're going to use the thinnest one on the bars. Don't like that much. In fact, I should use a different texture for inside here, because I've used this quite a lot already. But we'll see later. Oh yeah, I was going to put some lost souls for the player to be in here. And they're going to be ambushers. And what else am I going to do? Going to make sure that we're sound propagating like I like. Let's make these two sound propagation lines. And these. And these. And these ones as well. Okay, I think that'll do for sound propagation in this map. Let's see what else we can do here. We've got this floor is going to drop away. It's going to give us the key, and it's going to give us some route out as well. I'm not quite sure what, because there needs to be some semblance of a door here. Yeah, it's a nice warning sign for the player. Let's make this 128 wide. Up and unpegged. And I like it when mappers include some evidence of a mechanism in their traps, or their lifts, or whatever it is. So I'm going to just make little jigsaw pieces cut out of here. Are there any textures that just have a little bit of a chain? I'm going to waste so much time by flicking through these. This one I'll do, O-Track. Yeah, I like that. And while I was there, I actually found one that I'd like to use for all these little fiddly bits. Let's take that, but not that and that, or that. Let's take that, but not that, or that, or that. These are, yeah, these are going to be lower to, oh, I messed it up now. These are going to be lower textures. And they're all going to be, oh no, they're not all going to be front textures. F, 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 thank you very much. Done. Did I not select you? What are you playing at? All right, lower is O spur. Oh, I'll do it here then. O SPR. And there's some nice shiny border textures there. The demons in the dark is a bit overplayed, but the fact remains that they are a good melee enemy. That's going to instantly cause a lot of trouble. What else can I do down here? I suppose the Cacodemon could be used as a melee enemy instead. We'll see. Stake them in with some lost souls. That's a good melee enemy as well. Maybe they should all come from the same direction. Usually, I'd make them not come from the same direction because obviously it's better to have the player surrounded gives the monsters more of an advantage. But I'm thinking here about what the player can see from there. We could easily, and in fact I will, we could easily have some little hidden sections here and here for monsters to hang around on, and they would also be lowered down when the player trap is. Let's put some brightness on so you can see. Alright, they can stay with their blue water floor. Alright, so the idea is, as soon as you cross this line, not using one that's part of the architecture because it would be fiddly, then tag 15 will go. Actually, I want it fast, so we're going to category floor, walking over once, etc., etc. You know what? I'm going to change the texture as well. No, I'm not. I'm not, because changing the texture only would do that to the line def, or rather the texture on the other side of the line def, not the texture that I want it to. Oh, it's a hard life. Right, so that, and that, 15. Then we need the player to escape this route. I'm trying to think if I've made it long. That's probably long enough. Maybe there's some evidence that a route exists all the way back here. But the player can't get up this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll make a... Shall we make a waterfall going down here? We'll try. So we stab out these. We make these separate sectors. Just have a dark concretey floor, sufficiently decayed. And once again, we're going to want an O-conch texture for the walls. I love how well organized the OTEX library is. There's very little guessing. Once you have a theme in mind, you know where to find the textures. And these, and that, and this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not you. There we go. Waterfall, waterfall. That's you. That's pretty good. And what I'll do is I'll just put a little couple of health bottles up here, just to make the player realize that there is something up there. Okay, that looks good. Don't want the player to bash their head on this wall while they're coming down. Health and safety, you know. And for the last part of this route, I'll just make a little room with some, not ambushes, but some, just something interesting is what I'm trying to say. To make this a set of stairs. I've made the concrete 4 units higher rather than the water 8 units lower. Because that would have messed up that. Let's see. Yeah, that's okay. No, that's the wrong wall that I used. Okay, this needs some ceiling adjustment here. Oh, maybe a bit further than the regular ceiling. That's good. That can just become void. And if I get this right, then I won't have to make special accommodations for the concrete, which is 4 off. Maybe I want it to be 4 off. Hold on. That looks stupid. Let me see, what else can I do? I need another stair around there. Oops, I think I was on lines mode. Could have done this a bit more easily with the circle tool. It's characteristic of early Doom maps when we didn't have all this nice making shapes for us, that stairs would be just about circular instead of actually circular. Or these can go down 4. That's perfect. Oh, and I don't want to use the metal splits. I want to use concrete stairs. I might be using too many cacodemons here, because the super shotgun doesn't exist. And the player's not going to have heavy weapons at this point. Speaking of weapons, we need to provide the player with some actual ammunition. I think the start of the map doesn't have anywhere near enough ammunition either. I'll tuck one in there. And I almost forgot we need to check our sound propagation again. And we want to do that so that the player doesn't wake up any of these enemies up here before they're meant to. Okay. One more demon. I don't think this demon can fit. Yes, he can. It's going to be a tight squeeze, but he will manage. Don't know if that looks more natural or less natural, honestly. Again, it's very cramped, isn't it? Move you out here. Give you some more room here. Actually, you know what? You could be a spectre. Fiddle, fiddle, fiddle. I used to be part of a violin group in Scotland called the Geary Fiddlers when I was a child, and we used to do something called the Fiddlers Rally that all our parents came along to yearly. My dad recently confided to me that it was the closest he'd ever come to slitting his wrists. All right, maybe a couple of turret imps here again. Trying to squeeze a lot into one map here because I'm really trying to be aware of this provided monster count. I'm interested in, is there a vine texture? Van? It's a bit too much. The mid textures could do wonders, though. If I just put one on here. Vine D02. Vine D01. Yeah, I like that lot. Let's actually make this a rounded corner. And make that all, yep, they're all facing the same way. Vine D02, Vine D01. Oh, it just kind of stops. Let's make this a Walden. Don't want people straining their eyeballs too much on this map. I'm just doing what I was saying about the extra corridors to make it look like I'm not just railroading the player into one place. Interesting if they could go around and get the loot from a sniper up here. Okay, not quite a sniper, but somebody who's a bit annoying. All right, we'll think about that later. How many of these have I done now? All right then. That might be too many imps there. We'll see. Like to have some hiding places for imps and beasties here. This area isn't really big enough. Those vertices aren't going to do anything on their own. Well, that looks stupid. Let's correct that. All right, one more trap I'd like to spring here. Let's go M to make sectors. And these are not actually going to be pillars of void. They're going to be pillars of punishment that disguise enemies and eventually lower. What's the sector height there? 64. Okay, let's select ceilings now. There we go. Let's use those iron textures up here as well. And we are going to have some pillars that are genuine, because otherwise the space will just look too blank after you've cleared it out. I'd like to do something down here because I'd like this to be the way that you actually use your keys. Get up behind the spider mastermind here. You'll be tagged as well, 16. And we'll give you an imp. And sergeants. Let's see. This is looking pretty good now. add some shotgun shells around the town fountain. Bits of ammunition. And we're going to have to let the player heal themselves a bit. Here's one of the rare medikits. There'll be a couple of them up here. Don't quite want to go to Soul Sphere territory up here, but give them a good supply of health. And you know what? I'm going to put the chainsaw up here, because that was requested to appear in a secret. Yeah, that's a good hint that you can get up there. Oh, can you get to the top of the fountain? You can't, but it's a nice idea. We'll think up something later. This is going to need some ammunition in it as well. I tend to use the smaller pickups just so I can scatter more of them around. I don't want them here because I don't want any hint that there are going to be monsters there. Yeah, sometimes I use the big pickups because I can scatter more of them around, and it gives the player more pickups, more dopamine. And you can have a medikit as well. So we're getting there. Maybe I want to offer some shells. I'm going to put the shotgun here as well, just in case the player somehow doesn't get it from these. Maybe I'll accidentally delete them when I do the difficulty levels, so it's nice to have an insurance policy. Now, what I wanted to do here was have a switch. And it can be one of my green skull ones, as seen over here, somewhere. My weird way of getting around the map again. I should remember that you can hold down space to scroll. All right, and are we going to do bars again? I think we are. And what was that? Oh, SPR. Oh, did I not end up using these? What to do with those? Where the flaming hell is it? Okay, there we go. Ah, one there! I must have done something to do that, but I'm not sure what it was. Maybe I undid one level too early? I don't know. And I think it was called O-Track? Yes, it was. Wonder if AO1 would look... Yeah, that's probably better. Okay. So that completes this route. We can get all the way in and out of the red key. We can get all the way in and out of the yellow key. Now we can't because I haven't actually tagged these. That's going to be 17. Oh, no, they're not. They're going to be 16. Because I want these to be affected, this to affect the pillars as well. And again. Floor switch 1, speed fast, model trigger. Going down to the lowest adjacent floor. No changes. And that's going to do 16. Okay. Just like a couple more formers hanging around down here. So you've got to watch your step. Okay. I think that looks broadly pretty good. What I want to do next is to get the mechanism for exiting the level, which secondarily will destroy the spider mastermind, if I can manage it. And then we'll play through the routes and see what happens.